Since my Zcam E1 review, I've been going through a bit of a dilemma. Several people disliked it. Now, granted, more people liked than disliked it, but it's probably, on a ratio perspective, one of the most controversial of my videos. So, I went back and I looked at it, and I examined it in the context of other reviews that people like. And what I've come to determine is there are two categories of review. You have the entertaining review and the informative review. The entertaining review would be DigitalRev, for example. Kai running around Hong Kong with a camera, making lots of jokes, dropping information every once in a while, but primarily made to entertain the viewer. I'm thinking sort of like, they're basically the Top Gear of photography. Then you have informational reviews. Recently I've been watching some reviews for the Pentax Q. You're watching me on a Q7 right now. We're giving it a try to see how the video is because I've not tried it yet. My actual original Q back here, this thing's video is messed up, so I'm using the Q7 with the bigger sensor. I was watching Blunty's reviews of the Pentax Q system, and they're primarily informational. They give you lots of information about the camera and about the system, a little bit of opinion, but not very much. So what it seems to me is going on is there are a lot of people who do not like entertainment to take precedence in a review. There are a lot of other people who think that informational reviews are boring. Given that DigitalRev TV was the top photography channel on YouTube for about a decade, I'd have to say that the people who fall into the entertainment camp are winning. But there are a lot of people who blasted me, partly because they regretted the decision of buying the Zcam E1, and they didn't like the fact that I didn't reassure them that they made the right choice, because they didn't make the right choice, almost certainly. They were just looking for something to confirm that their bad decision was not a bad decision, and they got the opposite. But also, a lot of people complained about me not providing a bunch of information about the camera. Now, I provided a lot of information about the camera in the video, but it wasn't the kind of information you get on a spec sheet. Any idiot can go to the internet, type up what a camera is, and get, oh, this camera has this size sensor, this lens has this many elements in this many groups, and here's apertures and exposures and blah, 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 blah. Anybody can pull up spec sheets for cameras and lenses. Spec sheets are boring. Looking at numbers constantly, talking about just numbers constantly, that's boring. I don't want to be boring. So I made a review for the Zcam E1 from the perspective of someone who actually wanted to use it to get things done. I looked at the Zcam E1 like it was supposed to be a Panasonic G7 replacement because it uses the same sensor as the G7. The camera should be capable of everything the G7 is capable of. It is not. It is barely usable in real-world shooting scenarios, except if you're putting something on a tripod, setting it up, putting it in full manual mode, and leaving it there. My review, all 15 minutes or whatever of it, was intended to relay all of the problems you'll run into if you spend the money on this cheap camera. And a lot of people didn't like it. So my thoughts lately have been, what could I have done differently to make the review more positively received? In retrospect, some of the hate for the review was just from people who were sour grapes, regretted buying it, didn't want to have regrets over buying it, so my review was bad because it didn't make them feel better. Can't do anything about them. But for people who were complaining about not having enough information, did I really leave out too much information? Did I not go over enough of the camera? Did I spend too much time trying to be entertaining and to give a real perspective on what it's like to use the camera as a person who actually does work with video. Did I go too far in the funny direction or the interesting direction? Did I not spend enough time going, well, here's the spec sheet for the camera and it says it can do all this stuff, and here's a detailed review of the menus, here's all the menu items, and here's all the app stuff. Did I not put enough dry information into that review? I look at things like Top Gear and DigitalRev TV, which are supposed to be entertaining and informative at the same time, and I don't feel like I really went too far into the entertainment side. I could have put more information in. I explicitly refused to review their smartphone app for the Zcam E1 because it crashed on me repeatedly. It was pretty non-functional. By the way, to the reviewers that said, oh, you didn't even review the app, or oh, it's only meant to be used with a smartphone app, clearly it's supposed to be used that way. Yeah, the app doesn't work. So go jump off a cliff. Maybe you missed that part of the video because you only watched 30 seconds of it, but the app doesn't work. If you have a proposition for using a non-functional app, please let me know. Whatever. You can't please everyone, and I think that based on the fact that it's one of the highest view count videos I've got in terms of my camera videos, and the fact that it stirred so much discussion, it pretty much was a success. I don't think I could have improved it that much as far as people who did not like it, converting them into people who did like it. I think that the people who don't like comedic style and who don't like having their bad purchasing decisions shoved in their face are probably never going to be satisfied with something that is entertaining. I think that you can't please everyone, and that's what I've come to terms with. However, I am going to do more reviews down the line, and I'm going to try to make them better. So, I'd love to know your thoughts on educational versus entertaining reviews, what you think the perfect mix is. Any thoughts at all, put them down there. Good night, Pentax. What's this button do? Oh no, it's gonna turn me